Coming up on Look Today, well, Saratoga Springs School District receives a grant for technology improvements. I've got details. And Senator Jim Tedisco is appointed as a new member of the Heroin and Opioid State Task Force. More on that coming up. And the town of Fort Anne receives up to $342,000 for infrastructure repairs. I've got those details. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. In tonight's program, I sit down with Todd Garofano. He's the president of the Saratoga Convention and Tourism Bureau. He's here to talk about Chowderfest 2017. Now that's part of Saratoga Springs Winterfest. I also sit down with Jen Lezick. She's a performance and improvement director for the Hudson Headwaters Health Network, and we're joined by Dr. Danielle Gertzen. She's an OBGYN. They're here to talk about the HPV virus and the importance of Pap screening at an early age. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties, but first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, New York State has approved a $2.7 million plan to improve technology for both public and non-public schools throughout the Saratoga Springs School District. Now, the plan will provide infrastructure, security, and classroom information technology updates. Well, we spoke to Dave Homadou. He's the Assistant Superintendent of Information Technology and Operational Innovation. How's that for a title? We talked to him about the grant.
We have a total of around $2.7 million that is accessible for us. We have it broken up into three categories: classroom learning technologies, high-tech security, and school connectivity.
Now in other news, well, New York State Senator Jim Tedisco has been appointed as a new member of the State Senate Task Force on Heroin and Opioid Addiction. Well, Senator Jim Tedisco is instrumental in representing the community and working closely with law enforcement agencies. Well, the task force is charged with holding forums, consulting with law enforcement, health and addiction experts, and making recommendations for legislation. Now, as you know, we've been following the epidemic closely, and we've contacted the senator's office to invite him onto the program for an interview. Now, we're also interviewing the Prevention Council and the Saratoga Springs Police Department later on in the week. All right, switching from news to weather. Today saw a typical winter day. A good one, though. Sunny skies, cold winds, temperatures in the low 30s. Let's see how the week is starting to shape up. For a more detailed look at our weather, let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast.
Thank you, Jesse. As we jump into our first look weather center, cold, cold, cold. That's going to be what we're dealing with overnight. And the chance of snowfall will also be back in the picture as we're watching this next system dragging across the Great Lakes region right now and pushing our way by the daybreak hours. We can still see high pressure to our north, some lingering moisture back down across portions of Pennsylvania. Not a whole lot going on tonight. With those breaks in the clouds, that could be what really helps those temperatures drive back down. 2 degrees in Burlington, 16 in Albany, 13 in Boston, and we're right there in that same range as well, with a 10-degree low expected here across the Tri-North counties, especially as you head in the higher elevations and see just a little bit of a breeze. Could see wind chills quickly dropping back down towards the single digits. So very cold start as we head to the daytime Tuesday. Tuesday's highs only up to 27. We'll see that moisture trying its best to push back in and now manifest itself as overcast skies and a chance at a few lighter snow showers as we head out through Tuesday. South breeze still hanging in there. That'll help bump those temperatures into the 20s. And as we walk out the door tomorrow, bundle back up, give the car a few minutes to heat up. We're going to see single-digit wind chills, a few flurries out there, overcast skies, 9 to 12 between the 8 to 9 a.m. hours. You can see that temperatures will try their best to come back up above freezing by Wednesday. In fact, doing so, 36 degrees with a morning low of 18, sunshine, and temperatures will start to cool back down as we head towards the rest of the week at a temperature of 22 degrees for the daytime high Friday. That's it from the First Look Weather Center. Now let's get back to you, Jesse.
Well, thanks, Brian. Boy, those overnight temperatures are getting cold. I was up in the Lake George region over the weekend, and Lake George, no ice. So we'll see what happens in the weeks coming up. Back to the news. Well, the State Department of Transportation informed the town of Fort Anne that it has been approved for a grant of $342,000. Now, the money will be used to replace a culvert on Hogtown Road. The grant will cover the entire cost of the construction. We spoke to Richard Moore. He's a town supervisor for Fort Anne about some of the reasons for the update in infrastructure.
The reason we applied for the grant is twofold. Number one, we felt that the life expectancy of the culvert had reached its lifetime. And also, we wanted to widen the road so that it could have 2 lanes of traffic rather than alternating back and forth at times.
Up next, I sit down with Todd Garofano. He's the president of the Saratoga Convention and Tourism Bureau. He's here to talk about Chowderfest 2017, which is part of Saratoga Springs Winter Fest. Plus, I also sit down with Jennifer Lezick. She's a performance and improvement director for the Hudson Headwaters Health Network. We're joined by Dr. Danielle Gertzen. She's an OBGYN, and they're here to talk about the HPV virus and the importance of Pap screening at an early age. It's a very important interview. But first, you want to see news happening? You want to share a story idea? How about join us for an interview? Give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. It's Monday, so we're going to do Look Ahead, things that are coming up this week. Cheryl Hage-Perez, who's a director for Vet Help, is coming in. The Libertarian Party is coming in. It'll be very interesting to get their perspective on some of the national news. The Saratoga Prevention Council with Saratoga Police Department is coming in. Reminder that tonight is the State of the City address in Saratoga. We'll have a full report on that tomorrow, as well as a very interesting meeting that SPAC is holding today that we will also report on tomorrow with Elizabeth Sobel, the new president. A lot of very interesting news coming out of SPAC these days. The American Legion is also coming in. And tonight's lookout, a couple of things. My wife and I went to Troy Music Hall over the weekend to see a Beatles tribute band. Now, I know you're thinking wigs and all that stuff. No, it was a band that really just was really fine-tuned in playing the songs from the early era of the Beatles. And of course, hearing anything at the Troy Music Hall is a treat. The acoustics are absolutely phenomenal. And also to Senator Jim Tedisco for becoming part of that opioid and heroin epidemic council. And as I said, we're going to get him in here for an interview if he's available. Tonight on Look TV, a new Beyond the Headlines. Mike Lenz interviews Bob Turner. And also our music show Tracks. And for those of you who have been asking, yes, we are about to produce a whole new series of Tracks. All right, don't forget, tune in tomorrow night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.